What's up? So this Wednesday we are doing a video which is a little different but very relevant since the wedding season is just around the corner and we have some experience in that department.
Yeah, we were just discussing yesterday how this time last year we were like frantic and little over that 1 month marker.
Things were going a little
Things
haywire.
were crazy. Haywire is an understatement.
But we actually discovered a lot of tips that nobody tells you about. You discover on your own. So we thought it'd be a good idea to do a video around these wedding planning tips that nobody tells you.
Yep. Okay, so the first thing that we would both recommend is do not have a stage.
Yes, that sounds a bit weird, but it is very useful and comes in very handy because we didn't have a stage, and what happened was that after the wedding was done, we moved directly to the dance floor and we were having fun throughout the night. But if you have a stage, you will be stuck on the stage as a couple because people will come
like 4 hours and people will be like
people will come and take photos with you and you will just be standing there waiting for people to come and take photos.
And also then you have these random just standing in line photos, like just like 200 of those which you don't want.
Which is a bit tacky.
Yeah, and you just don't need it. I mean, like, I'd rather spend that time dancing.
Yeah, and if they want to take photos, they actually came to the dance floor. They dance around with you and then they take a nice photo and then they leave.
Yeah, or even if you're socializing or whatever, people will find you. Like, you don't have to like...
I mean, basically, you get stuck on the stage if there is a stage.
We didn't even have a stage, and as soon as the wedding got over, people started almost lining up. And we were like, okay, no, now's when we leave.
We're not going to stand here. Okay, so the second tip that we're going to give you is to personalize things. Let me explain. So basically, in India, weddings are mostly about religion and religious, practices and customs, which can get a little impersonal because you may or may not be of that religion or you may be not very religious. So what I mean to say is that you need to incorporate some things that you want to do. So it becomes your thing and your wedding, and it becomes something that's very close and personal to you.
Also, there should be moments where that you can recollect which would be touching for you from your wedding, like not just.
So, for example, let me give you an example. Example for me was that I walked into the venue with my mother. Generally, the girl walks in, but we decided that I would like to walk in with my mom.
Basically, they want to walk because I was working.
So
I also want to walk.
I walked in with my mom, and that happened to be one of the most beautiful moments and a really great photograph, which I'll remember for the rest of my life.
Yeah, and we had like our nephews and nieces as flower girls and ring bearers. I mean, a lot of people were like, oh, it's a very Western concept, but it's not. It should just be what you want it to be, or have someone speak at your wedding that's close to you. That can kind of talk about the couple, and
so make it very personal. Like it becomes like it's not just an occasion which is formal. It becomes very personal.
Candy. We had personalized candy.
We had personalized candy which had our names on it, and that made things very close and personal. And you think about them later, and it kind of gives you that warm, fuzzy feeling.
Okay, next tip. Everybody goes overboard with flowers and the decor. It's like, a thing. I think both of us jointly felt we don't want to spend a lot on that.
We actually realized while planning that that there's a lot of money that goes into just the flowers
alone.
Arrangements, and like you spend a lot of money. It's very expensive.
It's crazy.
You could actually do a mix of lights and flowers,
and reduce the cost.
Because lights can be very economical.
And actually, for an evening affair, I think it's much prettier if you have like fairy lights or
those Chinese lamps,
lanterns that we had. And I just feel like we had very few flowers at our wedding. Like we just had I think table arrangements and a couple of trees that had flowers. But nobody noticed, right? Like nobody was like, oh, there's less flowers. Or
because we compensated it with lights, and that made it actually look more beautiful.
So definitely don't overdo the flowers, because I feel at Indian weddings we do that, but
do a mix of lights and
flowers.
Tip number 4 that we're going to give you is to start with the venue first. It's an obvious one, but basically what we're trying to say is that first decide where you're going to get married. And then things can roll from there about decoration,
or food, or DJs,
how many people you want to invite. So that
kind
is
of
very
all
important.
Depends on the venue. So you do have to freeze on the venue first.
And a lot of people make the mistake of starting with the other things first and then go to the venue.
Or like sometimes you think really want to have this caterer, but then the venue has their own caterer and you can't, and then you're stuck. So it's always best to start.
Every place has restrictions.
Also, the other thing with the venue is that it's usually the most expensive part of a wedding. So I guess we would recommend going with a cheaper alternative like a club, like we did.
And it doesn't necessarily compromise on the look or feel of the wedding. Like it frees up a lot of money that you could spend on making that place beautiful with decoration.
Yeah, or just using it for the things in your wedding.
Yeah, there's lots of expenses.
Okay, the next point, again, a lot of people are going to say this is obvious, but get comfortable shoes for your wedding. Like make sure you've worn them. Like for women, I would say heels, okay, but you know, wear wedges or wear shoes that are comfortable. Don't buy a new pair because very often you just buy a new pair and you never wear it.
Basically, try them on before, wear them for a day.
Or dance or whatever you're going to do in them, because like you want to be comfortable at your wedding because you're going to be standing for like what, 5 hours, 6 hours.
So basically your shoes need to be broken into so that on the day or on the night of the wedding, you don't feel uncomfortable or you don't get like shoe bites and it just sort of kills your vibe. The next tip we're going to give you is delegate, delegate, delegate. You tend to turn into control freaks when you're planning a wedding.
Yeah, and you just think you can manage. Like we had a small wedding and we were like, we'll do it, but no.
But you can't. You need help. You need people to take care of some of the things. And especially on the day of the wedding when you're getting ready, especially for a girl who, you know, girls usually take a lot longer.
And you don't want that on your head. Like I remember you were running helter-skelter, organizing cars for people or like 2 hours before our wedding.
Yeah. So and people, you know, people tend to complain about things which may go wrong. Don't let that affect you too much. But delegate. Give responsibilities to, you know, your friends or to your cousins or your family, so that you can be sort of tension free on that day.
Also, there are things that you just don't think about. Like we didn't know someone has to go check the floral arrangements. Like Anaita asked us in the morning saying, guys, who's overseeing the flowers? And we were like, do we need to oversee the flowers?
And we needed to.
Yeah, and then there were changes that were made and someone had to go and check. So you need someone, like you physically can't go like the morning of your wedding and be like, oh, usko udhar se zara udhar karo.
So no matter how much you think that you can take care of everything, you will need help.
You can't do it. Okay, the next tip is that you don't need excessive bridal beauty treatments and packages for men and women. Like everybody was really like asking us, oh, so how many facials did you have? Oh, did you do like 10 hair spas before our wedding? And I'm like, oh,
people ask you that?
Yeah, and I was like, we had no time for anything. Like literally, I got one facial randomly before the wedding, which was also just like where I wanted to do something because I was like, I need to do something, it's my wedding. But we didn't do any like hair spa or like.
People do that?
Yes, like people do like 6 months of treatments and you know, like wedding bridal packages.
I mean, unless you have like acne problem or you have some
but then that's like something that you sort as a long-term thing. I'm saying like not like it's not like for glow you need like 6
I think that's just a waste
to like be like
that's a waste of money. Okay, so the last tip that we're going to give you is something called wedding announcements. This concept is a little Western, but it comes in quite handy if you're planning a small wedding. We had about 150 people, and you know, if people get offended, they may get offended if you don't invite them. So what we did was, after the wedding, we got a nice,
a lot of older people.
Yeah, like, so we got a nice box of sweets and a wedding card printed which said that you know, so and so have been married, so and so have been married, and we sent them off to these people who were not invited. And it's a nice gesture because it
just to say that we're thinking of you, but we had a small
wedding. Yeah. So in case you're planning a small wedding, make sure that you have something like that, which sort of placates a lot of other people who may be.
Yeah, because in India people get offended quite easily.
Everywhere they would be. So have a small wedding and send out boxes of sweets. Alright, so those were the tips that we had discovered while planning our wedding.
Yeah, and if you guys have any more for people getting married, leave them in the comments. These are what we came across when we were getting married.
Give this video a thumbs up and we shall see you next Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Bye.